Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Carwash Magazine Live. I'm your host, like always, Matt Wulf, Editor-in-Chief of Carwash Magazine. We've got an exclusive interview for you all today with Kati Pierce, president of Sonny's Holdings. That's a relatively recent development. Lots of recent developments going on with Sonny's these days, not the least of which is their recent acquisition of Hydroflex. That's big news. We'll be watching that and looking for the details around that coming up here. But in today's conversation, we're going to talk to Kati. ICA's CEO Eric Wulf had a chance to sit down with her recently. We'll get to that in just 1 second here. But first, I want to say, just remind you all that the Carwash show is in Las Vegas. It's November 15 through 17. And if you're an ICA member, you just got notice this week that registration is open. So remember, if you're not a member, you are not going to get first access to these things. So make sure your membership is current. Carwash.org/join, so you can make sure you're supporting what we're doing. Now, let's get to this conversation, shall we? We had a chance to talk to Kati, Eric Wulf, Kati Pierce. They had a chance to catch up. Here you go.
Hi, this is Eric Wulf with International Carwash Association. It's my honor today, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to speak with our special guest, Kati Pierce, who is the new president of Sonny's Holdings. Kati, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Eric.
So you and I have known each other for a while before I had to wear reading glasses to even see the screen. So I'm glad I'm glad we're still around together to age to some degree alongside each other. But I want to, if you don't mind, let's not focus on just today. Let's start the conversation like often happens, and let's start maybe from the beginning as it pertains to the car wash industry. So I know you've been on the operations side, owning car washes, and then distribution, and now supply manufacture. Can you talk about your history and how you found the car wash industry?
Sure. For like a lot of us that are in the car wash industry now, I got into it on accident. So it wasn't like, as a little girl, I always wanted to, have my own car wash. I got out of college and I was looking for a real job, and it wasn't a great economy at that point in time. So I was, kicking around doing different things, looking for my permanent home, and accidentally stumbled across a small full service car wash chain in my hometown, and started working there doing all of their marketing, which is what my degree was in. And, I never thought that I would stay in it for forever. I thought it would just be something I would do until I found something better. But here we are, more years than I care to add up later. So it ended up being a great accident, I would say.
Great. Yeah. Well, we're glad that accident happened. And I think a lot of us share in that kind of a path. Not intentional, but it's nice where it landed, right?
Yeah.
You and I really got to know each other and spent a lot of time together back when your husband, John, was on the ICA board, ICA president. And when I think back to that time, 10 plus years ago, what Kati, did you at the time, in hindsight now, see coming? What did you know was coming with this industry? There's so much going on. And then what has surprised you? What do you think surprised you the most from when, that period 10 plus years ago?
So one of the things that I think that we were pretty secure in was that express washes were the wave of the future for our industry. At that point, this is, I don't know how many of you guys are aware, this is actually the 20th anniversary of express washing in America.
Wow.
This year. So they've been express washes have been around for 20 years. So going back 10 years ago or so, we've been doing it for a while, and they were really catching a lot of momentum. And so we knew that was going to be the future of growth within our industry. So, and that obviously has continued. The surprising part, I would say, would be all of the big money interest that has come to our small family industry. So I don't think many of us really saw that coming, or to the degree that it is now. So those are, the big changes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that answer, and I think our eyes are opened anew like every 18 months. It got big, then it got bigger, and then it got bigger. It's just pretty amazing. So, let's talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, your fairly still recent appointment as the president of Sonny's Holdings, which then is the parent company of the original Sonny's Manufacturing and all of the subsidiaries and acquisitions the organization has made in recent years in particular. So can you talk about what led to your appointment, and then what's that going to mean for Sonny, your customers and your people?
So what led to it, I would say, was just, trying to position ourselves to move forward as we've grown both organically and through acquisition. We needed to kind of restructure some things, and Paul I'd been doing day to day for a while. And he's been focused on lots of M&A and strategy and all larger accounts and that sort of thing. So we'd kind of had this structure. So it was really a formalization of what we've been doing. But just to position us to continue to move forward and to continue to grow.
Yeah. And how about in terms of your day to day, what do you think will most substantially change for you, or what already has, pardon me?
Again, this has kind of been what we've been doing for a while. So there's not a lot of changes and not a lot of changes for our customers. Everybody always wants to make sure that Paul's going to be around. Paul's going to continue to be around. He loves this industry more than anything. It's a huge part of his life. So he has, and it's so fun right now with all the changes and all of the opportunity. He has, no plans to go anywhere. He's in it up to his eyebrows every day. So from, our staff's perspective and our customers' perspective, no real changes from that front. Just there's a lot to do, and we need as many people to help us do it as possible. So all hands on deck as usual.
Well, Katie, they're lucky to have you. I've long used the word in the very positive sense, formidable, that you're one of the most formidable people. And so they're very fortunate to have you at the helm now in particular. And a little bit more on you, obviously, as a female, and now with your position of Sonny's Holdings, you have to be one of the most high-profile females in the car wash industry, even worldwide. So can you talk a little bit about what that's been like in your career as you've taken these steps? And then what advice might you have for other women who are relatively new to the industry?
Absolutely. And that's something that, I'm very passionate about. When I first got into this, I was almost always, and a lot of times I still am, the only girl in the room. I'm very fortunate here at Sonny's that we've brought into our management and executive team a lot of other females. And I see more and more every time we go to industry events. And I'm super excited about that, because I think this is a wonderful industry and has a lot of opportunity for smart people, and especially smart women. So I love seeing more and more of them coming in, but it wasn't always the case. What I would say to women coming in is don't discount it because it's car wash, right? It's, some people would think this is not exciting, or maybe it's not very sexy or not cool, but there's really so much opportunity. And the main thing that I would say to them is, from my perspective, the sky's the limit. I never would have thought that this is where I would have ended up in this industry when I started, but I have, and so can anyone else. You can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It's just how hard do you want to work, and are you passionate about it?
Well, I know you've been a great mentor to many, Katie, and you've been really generous to give your time, like to the women's events that the ICA has put on, as a speaker, as a participant, as just spending time with people in the hallways in between sessions and such. So thanks for what you're doing to really model for the industry.
Absolutely.
So back a little bit, maybe to the industry, this time right now that you've stepped up into, you've been around it, of course, but with your new position, you've got record growth, you've got an incredible amount of capital coming in, and then we've got these, the challenges of today, probably I would say, is labor, supply chain. So where do you give your attention? How do you prioritize these different things? What right now maybe has you and your team, most focused with your energies amongst those myriad factors in the industry?
Well, it's a 100% on everything. It feels like. Obviously, we're spending a lot of time right now on M&A, because we are doing a lot of acquisitions, and have a few more things coming down the pike that we're excited about. So that gets a lot of time, finding the right people. For us, it's about bringing the right people and the right products into our organization that fit with us. And we're looking for people who are passionate about our industry, just like we are, and care tremendously about it. And so, bringing them in and assimilating and figuring out how to leverage what they did before with what we're doing now, so that we can move forward. So that's a lot of time. But the labor shortage is real, and it's something, and we work on it every single day. We have as an astonishing number of open positions. Every time they tell me the number, it's jaw dropping. I think it's like 240 open positions right now. And
wow.
We don't even have all of the positions open because they're repetitive. So, we just need so many people. And we're not special to this. Everybody's going through this, not only in our industry, but in others. But coupling that labor shortage with the boom that's going on in our industry is a huge challenge for us, because we're constantly juggling, trying to make sure that we can take care of our customers and provide them with the services and the products that they need when they need it. And everyone's growing so fast, we just can't keep up with the labor. So that's a huge challenge right now, and we spend a lot of time trying to juggle everything to meet the demand.
Yeah, it's incredible. We all know this, but I've been on the road this week, and everywhere, I mean, it's ubiquitous, the help wanted. It's and the
everything.
Perks and the incentives. Forget the hourly rate or the salary, but the perks and incentives that are being offered to just apply, let alone be hired, is unbelievable, especially for a growing industry. You mentioned M&A, so let's talk about the platforms. There's arguably sort of two, let's say, multifaceted platforms right now in the U.S. market. Sonny's being the largest of those, and help those of us who are wondering what this means for the future. Talk about the issue of choice when there's more consolidation. Talk about price. Talk about innovation. I think those three things really are on operators' minds as more of this consolidation occurs.
Right. And I guess in some ways you could look at it and say, the operators are losing choices. And I think that's kind of the negative approach to looking at it. There's still a lot of choices within our industry. From our perspective, why we're doing this and what we're looking to be able to do is to be able to be that one-stop shop for our customers, which from what we hear from them is what they're looking for. They want to spend their time growing their business. And so they need their operations and supply to be easy and quick. And so we're looking to be able to help them with that. So from our perspective, being able to be that one-stop shop for them is giving them the ease of running their business day to day, so that they can focus on, their club memberships and building new locations and making more money. So I think it is a benefit, but it does, I'm sure, feel like to some people that there are less choices than before. From a price and innovation perspective, for years, we've always done price comparisons on our products and services among our competition, like all good businesses do. And I think all of our manufacturers are pretty price competitive. I don't think there's a huge differentiating factor there to start with. So I don't think that that's really driving any change in our industry from where we've been for several years. And on the innovation side, we strive to come out with new innovations all the time. So the fact if we have one competitor or 100 is kind of irrelevant to us, because that's not, we're focused on what we're doing. And, our tagline is, make car washing easy. And we have that as our tagline for a reason. It's really our mission is to make our customers' job easier, so that they can focus on their business and make more money. And innovation is a big piece of that, right? How to, what's causing a problem at the wash? What part of the car is not as clean and dry as you want? How can I generate more revenue for the washes that I have going through? That's all the innovation that we focus on all the time, so that we can continue to bring value to our customers.
Well, a final question for you, Kati, and it's two-part, and you can answer in whatever order you want. You can end this on a high note, maybe, or you could share a concern. But my question's going to be, what do you think gives you the most optimism about the car wash industry? And then the second part is, and what causes you the most worry? Or what are you watching that you're careful about, that you think other people should be careful about?
So on the worry side, and this has been, a worry for a while in certain markets, but just, people building on top of each other. We get a lot of flack as a manufacturer. Oh, you all you're building a wash next to me. And really, we have very little control over where people build washes. We give advice, but ultimately it's the operator's decision as to where they choose to build. So I think we have to be careful there. And we're not, we're not restaurants and we're not drug manufacturers. So we can't have a car wash on every corner. It's just not going to work long term for somebody. So we have to be smart about that and just don't fall into the mindset of, well, mine is going to be better. I can build a better mousetrap, because I think it's a short-sighted approach. There's plenty of runway. There's plenty of places that still need good car washes. And so, don't just build right on top of someone because you can. So I think we need to continue to be smart about that and to really focus on that and think about it. So I do worry about that because I see it happening a lot. On the optimism side, we're in a great industry. We're in a great time in our industry, and we have a lot of runway to go as far as the services that we can bring to the consumers, washes that can continue to be built, and just the business that we can enjoy in the future within our industry. So I think it's a very exciting time to be part of the car wash industry, and super happy to be able to continue to do it every day.
Well done to end on the high note, by the way. So, Kati, personally, thank you for the friendship over the years. And from an industry perspective, congratulations on your well-deserved ascension up the ranks to one of the most high-profile positions in the industry, again, worldwide. And thanks for all you're doing really to model and represent this industry. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. And looking forward to getting back into doing trade shows. And we're super excited about the ICA coming up in November. We're busy planning right now. So looking forward to seeing you in Vegas.
Thanks, Kati. Take care.
Super grateful for Kati to share her story with us. Always big things coming out of Sonny's. Looking forward to what they do in the future here, and looking forward to connecting with Kati at the Car Wash Show in November. So that's super exciting. Now, if you guys want more stories, more inspiration, you want to just geek out on more car wash stuff, you know where to do that. You can do that at carwashmagazine.com and catch all the previous episodes of Car Wash Magazine Live. You can also subscribe to our podcast, Car Wash the Podcast, anywhere you are getting that podcast content. And everyone, until next week, there's only one thing you've got to do when you're out there washing cars and just killing it, and that is keep it clean.
I'm just having a good day, having a good day.